Good morning, everyone. Great to be here with you. Just have an important announcement. As I'm sure you've heard yesterday, Premier Doug Ford has allowed the resumption of worship services for 30% capacity in churches in Ontario. This is very great news, and we're very happy to share it with you, as I'm sure you've heard from different news outlets already. The only large indoor gathering in all of Ontario right now is for religious services. So this shows the importance already in our province of prayer and worship to the Lord, and the importance that the government's allowing us to resume these worship services, which is a great gift. But as we know, with every great gift comes great responsibility. That their government and healthcare units are putting great faith and confidence in our Ontario bishops and in other Christian and religious leaders throughout the province to do this well and to do it safely and in a way that prevents the spread of the virus, in a way that prevents as well any second waves, in a way that also makes sure that everybody is safe and protected from any contagion at this time so that we can continue to keep our churches open. So what we want to do is to make sure it's done very well, responsibly, and with the best of sanitization that we can offer to our people so that we don't have to close our churches again. Like, this is the goal, is for us to stay open at 30% and continue gradually to reopen as the phases go on and on. I would like to thank Bishop Fabbro and the Ontario bishops. They've been working diligently. They have not been just sitting idle, in dialogue with Mr. McNaughton, the minister who's been dealing with faith communities in Ontario, and also with Premier Ford. It was just this past week, last week actually, that their document was accepted by the government from the Ontario bishops. And obviously with yesterday's announcement, it was very well done, well thought out, and the government and health units have confidence that we can do this safely. So with all of this in mind, which is very good news, we're very excited, as all of you, to return to the regular practice of our faith in our church buildings. A few things we need to keep in mind to ensure the safety of all and to prevent the spread of the virus any further, to ensure that proper health is given and safety for everyone. So I ask for everybody for some extra patience and cooperation in these times. I know it feels like I'm a coach telling the team that we're going into overtime. The game is almost over, but we need a bit more of that patience, of that energy, of that determination to persevere and cooperate and to do well together so that this can be a success, this phase of reopening. So we're going to need some time. It was just yesterday that we found out that it's 30% capacity, so we do need some time to develop a seating plan. We need some time to hear from the health unit. So right now, the bishops and our diocesan committee for reopening of our parishes is in dialogue with the local health units, who will then guide us in the proper ways to sanitize and protect people from contagion of the virus. So they're going to be in dialogue this week with the health units, and we'll receive news from them later. So we need some time to organize a seating plan that matches the 30% capacity and also ensures social distancing of parishioners when they arrive here at the church. We'll need some time to develop teams of people and ways to help sanitize the church in between masses and other services so it's done safely and well, not just for the visitors, the parishioners, but also for our staff and teams who will be volunteering and involved in that. We'll need some time for the diocese as a whole to reopen together in a consistent way across the board so that sacraments are offered properly and in a safe manner for all people. And so with all this in mind, there is some work to do. As you can remember, a few weeks ago when the Archdiocese of Detroit announced that they were reopening, they just didn't reopen the next day or a few days. It was a couple weeks of preparation for that to be done well, and it's gone well from what I've heard already. And so we want to do the same. So even though Friday, June 12th was the date of reopening that the Premier gave as a possible date for reopening, we won't be reopening this coming weekend for Sunday Masses open to the public. We need some more time to get prepared and to have things organized well. So I know this is a bit more of the patience required and cooperation, but I know we can do this working together. We're part of a family of parishes and family of God here, that we're able to work together as brothers and sisters to make this happen, and to know that in short time we'll have some very concrete practical news on when we will reopen, how it will be, and how it will take place. Keep in mind as well, especially those involved in parish ministries and groups, that when we reopen, it is strictly for the masses and worship services. So it's not like everything in the parish is going to go back to the way it was a few months ago with different meetings and groups coming here and to meet. It's strictly for worship services of the praise and worship and glory of God. So that is the focus right now of reopening. The other things will come in the weeks and months to come as we're given permission and as it's safely to gather in groups and in numbers again. Finally, we are still dispensed from Sunday obligation. So the bishop has still given us permission not to attend Sunday Mass and receive communion, because we're unable to do safely, and not everybody will be able to attend every single Mass as per usual because of the 30% capacity. And so none of us are obligated still to attend if we have to miss, so that we can allow another family or another person to receive, communion in the future who hasn't been able to get to Mass. We'll have to take turns for a little bit at this 30% capacity. So we are all still dispensed from that Sunday obligation for attending Mass at this time until we're able to do so at full capacity. And also I just want to have us reflect as well that we shouldn't be judging others at this time either. If a person still feels vulnerable because of health conditions or predisposed health conditions and they decide to stay home at this time, that we shouldn't be judging them or that person in any way, shape, or form if they decide for their own health and well-being that it's just still too early for them to come and join us in our public worship in our congregations. That none of us have that knowledge of God, of the person's heart, and we're here to encourage all of our brothers and sisters. The live streaming will continue for as long as we need to. So the live streaming will continue so that everybody feels part of our community of faith and can join us at St. Anne's and Good Shepherd, St. Simon and St. Jude, and St. Jerome's as well, so that we are working together and not judging one another if somebody does decide that they're not ready yet, or for whatever reason in their heart that they just need a bit more time. We understand, and we're here to journey with you. So once again, just your patience and cooperation. This is very, very good news. We were not expecting this early news so soon, but this is a great show of confidence that the health units and the government has in our faith communities, and we want to respond responsibly and to do it well together. So we'll continue to keep you updated, and as soon as we can, we'll give you practicals when we hear from our diocesan committee and Bishop Fabbro. Please keep them in prayer and all those who are involved in this reopening process, and let us stay together united, encouraging and supporting one another, and with our prayers and support, we'll make this happen together and be reunited as God's family over the weeks and months to come. God bless.